Well, hello everyone. Looks like that's working. Welcome to the stream. Here, I'll get started. Let's play a game. Start with e4. And we got a Sicilian. Karsten Winner. Oh, plays a c3 Sicilian. I forget what you do. There, I think that's one of the moves you can play. Maybe I usually do the knight move, now that I think about it. Anyway, let's just develop. Yeah, I was totally confused. He was playing the e6 Sicilian. He's got a time off set up. Let's defend the knight. Bring an extra defender in. He can push d5 if he wants to. He can create a doubled pawn if he wants to. Here, I'll kick the bishop and see what he wants to do. He does want to create a doubled pawn. Kind of discourages me from castling queenside. Here, let's defend the pawn and keep the knight out of this square and castle kingside. I have open lines for my bishops in exchange for the doubled pawns and a bishop pair. First time chat. Hello there, the real Vonzilla. Welcome to the stream. For my Christmas present, I got a green screen. Here, you can see that, right? See, so it's a phony background. I'm still sitting in my bedroom here. But it's fun. Oh, you were Coolio Julio. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, let's keep the pawn and the bishop. You're 4Q on OGS. I think you're out of my class now. Okay, let's kick that knight. Let's see where it's going to go. Can't go forward because my bishop is covered. I switched to playing on Fox and haven't been improving much. Oh, that was dumb, huh? Well, it wasn't dumb. I can take this knight. I mean, it doesn't lose a piece, but it wasn't what I intended. Yeah, if I go there, if I step back, then he can put his knight here, which I don't want. I guess I have to take the knight and just suffer. Suffer the punishment for my bad behavior. Now, is there any checks here? There is a check, but I can take the knight. So I can do that. And I think, well, he can defend the knight. So I do have the bishop pair in open lines still, but I did sacrifice a whole pawn. Julio. Okay, I think I have to move the king here. I'm still attacking the knight. Well, I'm just waking up. This is my first game. And just having fun with the green screen. I put up a background. There's a little bit of speckling on my shirt when I looked at it. Hopefully it's not too distracting for you guys. And I found a background that wasn't causing too much trouble. Okay, I'm blocking the discovered attack here, and I'm going to make room for my rook to come out. 1100 for rapid, and blitz are even worse. Yeah, it can be tricky. Okay, looks like I'm going to have to take, huh? Because of the discovery there. Yeah, I have to move my king off that diagonal, which is too bad because that leaves my rook trapped here. And I've given up the bishop pair. And his bishop is momentarily a sad piece, but he can push this pawn and bring the bishop out. So, or he can develop it on this side. So it's not a problem. Okay, I'm just making room for my king so I can bring the rook out. I do have bishop takes pawn check at any time, so that's nice. Now I can bring the rook out. He has bishop takes pawn check, but there's no discoveries, so he's not a problem. He's ganging up on this pawn. I don't know why. He does have a pin on this pawn. Maybe he can exploit that somehow, but he has to take some risks with this king side. Yeah, you prefer go. Yeah, chess is my main game. I've been playing it since I was a kid. So I can put a bishop here. And he would have to sacrifice the exchange. Okay, let's allow that. So I don't think he's a cheater, actually. I could be wrong. I looked at his games with a chess engine, and he did play some perfect moves, but they weren't all perfect. He did have a streak of like 10 perfect moves. So I can understand why Magnus would be suspicious. But you know, at the very least, I don't think there's proof that he's a cheater. Okay, so he wants to get his rook here, I guess. I could bring here this bring this here. Other than Magnus and Hikaru, most GMs think he didn't cheat. Interesting. Yeah, I think from what he said that Magnus walked into some preparation of his, which is why he had all those perfect moves. It was a position he'd seen before, and Magnus didn't believe it. He said nobody would research a position like that. And Magnus is very good at choosing openings and lines that nobody would research. Oftentimes because they're just not good, or you know, they're adequate, I should say, but not. So I put the rook there. Is he trying to bring the rook in? I don't know. The thing is, I can't. I don't really have any good. Yeah, let's go ahead and do this. So probably result in a bunch of trades, huh? Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have done that. oh no, I've got a mate threat at the end. It'll be all right. I was thinking, between the with another exchange, he puts my queen here where it's loose, not defended. So this pawn is pinned, and he can just take the bishop. But I can checkmate him if he does that. So I'm saved by the checkmate threat here. So I can exchange it all down to an isolated pawn position. I'd be better to keep the queens on. It would be better for me to keep the queens on. Now there's a mate threat. And yeah, see, he wants to trade. I don't want to trade. Threatening his pawn. Of course, he can take my pawn. Defend my pawn. Okay, I take, he takes. I check and check. All this does nothing. I'll just do nothing for a while. He's still trying to get me to trade, huh? He's a funny guy. Holding on to this pawn here. So that when he takes it, it won't be with check. I let this pawn get too far. He's probably going to win now, huh? Yeah, I can't get a perpetual. Sadly, I can check. And check. He runs there. I can drive him back. Maybe I do get a perpetual. Say I have this clever pawn here. So that was a nice escape. So let's go back to the beginning here. Have you ever played a titled player? I think I did once, yeah. I played a couple times in the US Open, and in the first round you sometimes get some high-rated players. At most, I played an IM, though. I've never played a GM or anything. So nobody you would know. So what's going on here in this one? So I was just confused at the beginning, but this is not too bad. But that's a horrible mistake there. So I undefended my knight. Yeah. So maybe the bishop move wasn't too bad. You know Eric Rosen? Cool. So I should take his knight. Yeah, that's a lot of times the answer. It still likes white here. Gives me a plus 1.3 advantage. And then that goes to -7. So that was just a terrible move, that pawn push. The computer's so harsh. Okay, let's play another game. Okay, I did e4 last time. Let's do d4 this time. So we got a Queen's Gambit, a Slav defense, okay, he's playing the triangle setup. I'm going to play the slow Slav. And then I'm going to castle here so that this pin will be useless. And if his knight ever comes here, yeah, let's chase that bishop, see if he wants to take my knight or not. Let's keep chasing. Now this is interesting. I don't have to take or push with the pawn. I can leave the tension there and just develop my bishop. Bring my rook here. Because this pawn isn't going anywhere. It's blocked. So he did decide to take. Yeah, so I was kind of waiting for him to take. And then he kicks my bishop, so it just goes back here. But I'm going to put a rook here on the backwards pawn, looking at the backwards pawn. Okay, and he puts a knight there. Yeah, let's defend my knight. And maybe kick his knight. This is actually a pretty good position for me, I think. It's close to allowing a bishop a Greek gift sacrifice, except I don't have control of this square. If the bishop were on its original square, then I would have control. Why did he take that pawn? So anyway, my idea is to, he's left this undefended, so probably needs to defend this. But if I were to push this pawn and put the bishop here, then I could do a Greek gift sacrifice. So here, there's an excuse to put the bishop on this diagonal, kind of surreptitiously. Still threatening to take this pawn. So he defends it. Okay, so let's open up the attack on his king here. Yeah, so now I can do it, right? Check. He takes queen, no, knight here, check. That's not the key thing. And then if he goes back, it's queen here. This pawn is protected, but I'm threatening mate here. the king comes forward, I have the check up here. I think this is a tough position for him. The queen here blocks some of his escapes. Hello, Sleeping Bird 36. Welcome to the stream. So I got a green screen as a present for Christmas, so that's why my background looks different. Okay, so he goes there. Now, if the queen checks here, he can't go back. Can't go here. Can't go here. There's not a piece that can block it. Oh, there's a pawn. The pawn can block. So I go here. He goes here. I take en passant, and it's check. But the king can take the pawn. I can check here. Or I could put my queen here and set up a discovered check. The king has no squares. Oh, it has one square. Could go to this dark square here, but then I would walk into a discovered check. Surely I could do something with that. Oh, and I have a rook that can swing over. I was forgetting about the rook. So knight takes pawn check, and then he does that anyway. Does the en passant anyway. Can put my rook here. His king still can't retreat. Can go forward now, if he's brave. I can swing my rook over. He can't oppose my rook, my queen, with his rook, because he lifted his rook. And then queen here would be checkmate, except he's got the little knight there. I wonder what I'd do about that. Hey, Joe, how we doing? So he just swings his queen over. Okay. Rook f3. 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 There's also rook g3. Yeah, rook g3 doesn't work because of the bishop. Yeah, that's the problem. Getting on the g file is not so easy here. And the knight guards these squares. The rook and the pawn guard these squares. So yeah, I thought I had a square here I could get to. This pawn is hanging for what it's worth. Oh, interesting. I can't take it because of what? Because of the threat of trading queens. It's not much of a threat. His knight is hanging and this pawn is hanging. So I guess it's even. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. I'm up a pawn after all of that. Still, better than not being up a pawn. And let's see, and I've got a check here. His king could step up here, but that's a discovered check, and my rook can go here even. His king could step back. Step back to safety, but then it walks into this fork. Yeah, the exposed king is a dangerous thing. Also, the bishop has been blocked in behind the pawns this whole time. Okay, what now? He's got a fork here. I should watch out for that. Oh, yeah, let's go after the pawn, I guess. I can force a trade here. And now I'm just a knight up. We do have bishops of opposite color. Yeah, he ran out of time. I was going to say he resigned. Don't hinder your development. Yeah, true. I should be okay. I was thinking bishop here, rook here. Yeah, I can develop with check. As long as my knight doesn't get into trouble. I do have to be careful because he has these passed pawns. So, but if we ask the computer what it thinks I am winning, +5. He should push here to free up his bishop. Yeah, and I should develop. Or push a pawn. Anyway, let's get another game. Sorry. Here we go. Okay, Alex. He started with c4, the English. Okay. Let's try knight f6. And c5. Interesting. When I play c5, they usually play d4. But he's gone directly for this this setup, which is fine with me. This is the kind of setup. This is a Botvinnik, dueling Botvinnik setups, except our knights are in the wrong spot. Because his knight, this knight should have been here, and then he should fianchetto the bishop. And similarly, my knight should be here, and I should fianchetto that bishop. So we both misplayed our Botvinnik setups. But my idea here was just to take this and castle. And now You know, I can do some discovered. Oh yeah, I can take this pawn here. Because if he takes my bishop, then I take back with a knight. And if he doesn't take my bishop, if he, what else is there? If he takes my knight, then I take his bishop. So that's a move. Something to keep in mind when you're playing this kind of setup. And now I come out with my queen, and I've got a knight versus a bishop. And he protects his pawns. Good move. Good idea. So maybe I'll just bring some pawns out. Put my knight here, put my rook here, push this pawn. So he's going to castle queenside. No, castling kingside after all that. Okay, I think he's going to get into a little bit of trouble here. Because he can't stop my pawn push. The bishop will be pinned afterwards, I guess. So I push now. He takes, I take, bishop takes, and then I play the knight here. He could defend his bishop. Maybe I'll step back with the queen. Or I could have moved the knight here first, I guess. But yeah, the thing is, he still can't stop this pawn push. It's something that's in the position. Oh, he made space for his bishop, huh? So I could go here and attack this pawn. Or I could go ahead and push. He just retreats the bishop. I could take. And he's got this isolated pawn here, and I have a pawn I could use as a battering ram. Oh, he took it. So I could take with either the knight. Let's try taking with the knight. I like the discovered attack on the queen. So knight takes pawn is a big threat. Okay, I can't do anything with check, though. That's annoying. That's definitely annoying. Knight takes pawn, bishop takes queen. Knight takes queen. But knight takes pawn, queen takes rook. Knight takes bishop check. He takes my queen. And I think that's maybe the best I can do. We'll see what he comes up with here. So bishop takes queen, knight takes queen should be okay. So, oh, he just takes my... oh, that's no good, though, is it? Because I can take here with check. He can bring his queen over. And I could take this pawn and this rook. It takes my queen. Anyway, at least it's with check, so he can't take this rook, which is under fire from the bishop. Now the question is, Can I take this rook? I take. If he takes my rook, then I take. And I've gotten 2 rooks for a bishop, right? Keeping in mind that I'm down a pawn all the time. If I take and he takes, then I can take back with check. And I've only got 2 rooks for the queen. If I take with the rook, he takes my queen. If I move the queen away, he takes my rook. So I think queen takes rook is the best of a bad situation. Okay, now I just need to get my rook to this square where the bishop is protecting it. So I push, bishop takes. He does have that, yes. Now if I push, the queen will take my rook. Then I'll push again. He can't stop me from queening. So I can push. He takes the rook. I push again. And he can't stop me from queening. He has to give up the queen. If he didn't take it, then I was going to skewer his queen and king. So I think that was a nice save. We'll end up with a queen and rook versus queen and bishop and some extra pawns. Or just rook versus bishop and some extra pawns. Thank you, Sleeping Bird. Yeah, I almost paused. I mean, it was my plan to push the pawn, and then I saw his queen taking my rook, and I thought, maybe it's not so good. Just bringing my king out. So 2 versus 1 on this side, 4 versus 3 on this side, and a rook versus a bishop. So this is an easy end game. Simplest way to win it is to trade the bishop for a rook. So I'm going to bring my king up here and then take the bishop and then take the pawn. If he doesn't move his bishop, he might move it. He did. Okay. Now don't forget that he's attacking my. Don't forget that he's attacking my rook. So I'm assuming a play here. So I could sacrifice a pawn here to win this pawn. Then I still want to just trade, but he's apparently not going to let me. So I'll just march my pawns forward instead. He went there. Okay. I didn't know he would do that. Okay. He's taking the pawn. Okay, we'll keep his king out of this file here. Time. Okay. Yeah, I shouldn't lose on time. I can push one of these pawns. Here, I'll move this up to, yeah, dark square. I wonder. Ah, there we go. Finally. Okay, so I'll give him a choice of which pawn he wants to have. Which pawn do you want to have? And then he's going to make me mate him here. Okay. I'm not going to lose on time. I promise you. Here, let's take this pawn too. Oh, there he goes. He resigned. So he was, just to show you, he was going for a stalemate trick. See, if I were to push this pawn, that would be stalemate because he can't move the king. But when he saw that I was smart enough to move my queen instead, he didn't do anything. He could still play on like this. He could make my life hard in a variety of ways, but eventually, see, I can't move my king there. I'd have to move the king here. Again, king here or here is stalemate because he has no moves. The queen's covering the square. But I could go to this side. Then he goes here, and then I step up with the king and get another queen. Just one way. There's a shogi-like mate where you sacrifice something and then queen. Let's get back. After king d6. King d3. The king moves away, then you promote to a queen. He takes. Ah, yeah. Say he goes. But if he goes there, but I understand what you're saying, but I can't set it up somehow because he can't go here. It's not legal. He needs to be in a place where he takes the pawn. So say I did that. He went here. I went here. He went here. Then I promote with queen. He takes. And then I can checkmate with the other queen. Yeah, off by a move. So yeah, cute mate. Okay, another game.